Story and the border watch is on as Title 42 expires midnight tonight. That policy allowed authorities to turn away migrants at the border to help control the spread of COVID-19. But now, as that order ends, thousands of people are flocking to the border all at once. And tonight, Scripps News correspondent John Moan on scene in Brownsville, Texas, taking you right to the heart of this story.
The refugee camp sits on a sharp bend of the Rio Grande. It's just a swim away from the U.S. border near Brownsville, Texas, if you dare.
Pero ya no teníamos más nada porque no teníamos otro recurso. Pero era el único medio de nosotros poder pasar y cumplir un sueño, una meta final.
Luz Marita Yairia counts herself amongst the thousands of Venezuelans at this makeshift community in Matamoros. It's one of the most dangerous cities in northern Mexico, where migrants often fall prey to kidnappers, gangsters, and rapists. She's just one of many desperate men, women, and children stretching along the U.S. border, trying to navigate recent and confusing changes in U.S. immigration policies. The Trump administration invoked Title 42 in 2020, using an existing public health policy to prevent COVID from spreading as a substitute for immigration law. It resulted in the expulsion of millions of asylum seekers back to Mexico. The policy expires just before midnight tonight, with President Joe Biden announcing more legal pathways to reach the U.S. But White House officials are still discouraging migrants from trying to cross over.
Let me be clear. The lifting of the Title 42 public health order does not mean our border is open. In fact, it is the contrary.
The new policies are confusing to many migrants, many of whom are desperately trying to score an appointment at a border checkpoint on a glitchy app with only 1,000 available spots a day. Some have tried for appointments for months with no luck. People can also try for asylum through humanitarian parole, although it's limited to Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. The last option is to cross illegally and begin a formal deportation process. Families and children will most likely be put on a slower track, meaning they can live and work legally in the U.S. until a court hearing. But most single adults will be likely removed quickly. Migrants also face what's called a transit ban. That means they must first seek asylum in countries they've passed through, which can be an extremely lengthy and potentially dangerous process. But if they don't and cross illegally, U.S. immigration officials can block entry and deport them.
Let's set up regional processing centers. Let's work to make sure that people have options so that if they're looking to seek asylum or if they're looking to come fill a job, how can we make sure that we match those things up?
But officials like Mayor Victor Trevino of Laredo, Texas, fear chaos and strain on his city's resources once Title 42 is lifted.
We're in the trenches of the immigration problem, so we're boarding up like if it's a hurricane coming.
John Moan, Scripps News, Brownsville, Texas.